Unite the party, I'll build the party.
Some even claim they have never left.
APC's new national chairman promises unity amid renewed hope as PDP dismisses fears over defections and emergence of new coalition.
Expanding diagnostic centers.
Cancer treatment gets more accessible as federal government launches oncology centers in Katsina, Enugu and Edo.
Are part of efforts targeted towards facilitating the emergence of a productive, commercial and resilient livestock sector.
Also tonight, livestock farmers in Nigeria to benefit from new climate-smart risk management tool. Hello and welcome to NTA Network News. I am Jumma Yusuf. Tonight on the newscast, I'm being joined by the duo of Benny Adams and Bade Adele. And Benny will be bringing us happenings in the world of business. Bade is standing by to bring us news from the world of sports. Remember, you can watch this newscast and our live streams on your mobile device on the go on any of our social media platforms. You're welcome to Network News. Let's begin. Let's go to our survey. Should public and civil servants alongside their families be barred from using private schools and hospitals? That is the big question in tonight's NTA online survey. Well, this stems from a proposal currently on the floor of the House of Representatives on the subject matter. Supporters say banning them would promote equality and push for better public institutions. Those against the move argue it is within their right to choose the best services for their families. There is also a middle ground, with some believing restrictions should only come after public schools and hospitals are improved. What is your take? Vote yes, no, or only if, depending on what you truly think. Scan the QR code soon to be displayed on your screen and make your voice heard. Let me know what you think on this matter. We'll be bringing and sharing our findings with you before the end of the newscast. We'll begin with politics as the new national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Professor NTA Programme, says his immediate task is to unite and expand the party in order to fulfill the expectations of Nigeria from the Renewed Hope administration. Professor Iwada emerged the new chairman of the party at the 14th National Executive Committee meeting of the ruling party attended by President Bola Tinubu in Abuja. Let's take a listen to State House correspondent Musbah Wahab.
President Bola Tinubu here as his party takes another decisive step. The party growing bigger too, 23 and still hoping for more since the addition of Delta and Akwa Ibom to the APC states. The resignation of a former chairman, Abdullahi Ganduje, created a huge vacuum to be filled.
I, Senator Hope Uzodimma,
Chairman of the Progressives Governors Forum, Governor Hope Uzodimma of Imo State, moved the motion. And Speaker, House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas seconded for the exigencies to rezone key positions in the party's National Working Committee.
I do hereby second.
Then, subsequent nomination led to the emergence of a Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Professor Nentawe Yiwada, from Plateau State in North Central as the national chairman.
So help me God.
Professor Yiwada now wears the big cap when the party aims at greater stability and popularity as the ruling party.
That I will work with everybody in the party, I'll unite the party, I'll build the party, I'll expand the party with you as the focus and the building block and the support that I will require to drive the party as needed by all of us so that we can fulfill the dream of Nigerians who have reposed their hope in the Renew Hope agenda.
Congratulations.
Congratulations from the leader of the party. But the president quite understands the huge task ahead and the enormity of expectations.
Nigerians are still complaining at grassroots. To you, the governors, you have to wet the grass more. And lead the way in delivering progressive change to Nigerians. Those who are working with me to achieve sovereign food guarantee for our country, we will continue to work hard for you, for the Nigerians.
President Tinubu reported the progress of the nation's economy as he assures that his administration remains committed to renewing the hope of Nigerians.
As the president, I will continue to work harder and make sure that the essence of our party is not forgotten. I thank all of you outside there. It is not easy to navigate the stormy water of economic instability. Now that the economy is stabilized, no other fear for the country except upward movement and sustained growth, I can assure you.
And as the NEC pays respect in memory of former President Muhammadu Buhari, the late Awujale of Ijebuland, and Alhaji Aminu Dantata, President Tinubu appreciated his deputy, Vice President Kashim Shettima, for leading a befitting national burial program for late former President Buhari. From the State House, Musbah and Wahab, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the National Publicity Secretary of the governing All Progressives Congress, Felix Moka, says APC is fully aligning with best democratic norms in running the affairs of the party. He was speaking with our political correspondent Abubakar Akwanga shortly after the 14th National Executive Committee meeting of the party, where he described the emergence of the new national chairman of the party, Professor Nantewa Yilwada, as a positive development.
We're very excited, and I think that we, at this time, with a new national chairman, comes with new thinking, new ideas. So it's a good day for our party. And again, I want to stress that unlike so many of opposition parties, we handle our transitions with speed and with deliberateness. And today, again, is another demonstration of the maturity of our internal democracy, the fact that we have very strong constitutional tradition, and we take it seriously. Unlike what you see in the opposition parties where they can't get over even the question of who is the national secretary of the PDP. They've been living with that for years and haven't managed to emerge from that. The Labour Party itself is in complete tatters, and even the new so-called coalition of the ADC is already, half of them are in court and others are busy, pulling and tugging at each other. So the point is that even when we have internal challenges, we work hard to, trigger our systems to mediate and to, resolve those things. And today, I think we just showed Nigerians, why we're the ruling party, that we're not only, we don't have our acts together, not only at the presidency and in the government, but even at the party, that we also have our acts together.
In the meantime, the 7th National Chairman of the governing All Progressives Congress, Professor Nantewa Yilwada, has formally resumed work at the party's National Secretariat in Abuja. Political correspondent Abubakar Akwanga tells us more.
At an inaugural meeting presided over by the new national chairman of the party, Professor Nantewa Yilwada pledged unwavering commitment towards the unity, strength and prosperity of the governing party. The national chairman promised to consolidate on previous gains achieved and initiate new ones that will promote internal democracy and advance the common cause of the Nigerian people.
You've been my partners, and I expect nothing less from you that we all join hands together as a team to work together to ensure that we expand this party, we increase membership, we deepen technology that you already started, and ensure that this party is transparent. This party enjoys the support of Nigerians and even beyond the shores of Nigeria to diaspora.
He appreciated President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the support and guidance and vowed not to let him or any member of the governing All Progressives Congress down in rebuilding a process that will guarantee the continuity of the renewed hope agenda. The National Working Committee later sworn in the National Legal Advisor, Professor Abdulkarim Kana, into the office of the Deputy National Secretary of the party following the resignation of the former occupant of the office, Festus Fuanta, while Murtala Aliyu is now the National Legal Advisor of the governing All Progressives Congress in Abuja. Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
And from the PDP, we're hearing that the party is unshaken by recent events involving defection of its members, amongst other issues. This came to the fore as the 101st National Executive Committee meeting of the People's Democratic Party ended in Abuja. Correspondent Timothy Yusuf reports that the issue of some of its members taking part in a coalition was top on the agenda, with the party saying it would not lose sleep over what could only amount to a political experiment.
The National Secretariat of the PDP Abuja again came alive. Moving into the National Executive Committee Hall, members of all organs of the party who are NEC members converged for the business of the day. 101 NEC meeting of the PDP. Successes being recorded in the party's survival quest dominated discussion here.
Many who jump on from one side to the other return to our fold. Some even claim they have never left.
We know of our internal issues, and we have always had capacity to deal with our internal issues. I believe even those who have taken a trip, majority will be temporary.
From the party's Governors Forum to its National Assembly caucus, there were expressions of optimism that the PDP is again bouncing back to its former glorious days.
This is not time for calling names. This is not time for abuses. We sympathize for those who became impatient and left, but certainly they will understand their follies. Where we'll still leave the door ajar for them to come in when they wish to.
This last crop of persons that are in PDP now, making sure that PDP rebuilds again and becomes that formidable alternative for all Nigerians, are in politics by conviction.
If there is any doubting Thomas, you should now believe that PDP has an in-house cleansing mechanism.
The 81st Board of Trustees meeting of the PDP earlier held, ushering in the 101 NEC meeting. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Now to matters of governance. Vice President Kashim Shettima has stated that President Tinubu's bold policies are being implemented both in the interest of Nigerians and to create an enabling environment for serious business operations in the country. He stated this when he met with the newly elected executives of the Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, NASIMA, led by the National President Jani Ibrahim at the Presidential Villa. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
Nigeria is ready for business, Vice President Kashim Shettima noted, and President Tinubu has never shifted ground on his bold economic reforms because they are for the interest of Nigeria.
I want to assure you that the current administration is your own. Because the president speaks your language, the language of commerce. He grew up in that ecosystem. He knows how businesses are run. I can assure you that Nigeria is ready for business. And you are the drivers of change. We'll support you, create the enabling environment for you to prosper. We cannot meet the $1 trillion economy target without your support and endorsement. And our newly rebased GDP, which compounds the importance of the organized private sector, and in every society, in manufacturing and industry and agriculture, are the major drivers, are the major creators of wealth. And honestly, our doors are open for robust engagement with NASIMA.
The national president of NASIMA, Jani Ibrahim, commended the leadership of the vice president as the chairman of critical national economic bodies and his strategic role in allowing public-private action towards sustainable national development.
We are particularly encouraged, with his comments, especially when we mentioned to him that the $1 trillion economy target by 2030, we have the capacity, we have the ability, and we will not only achieve it, we will surpass it.
The body requested that organized private sector representatives be included in key government councils and technical bodies, particularly in areas relating to trade, industry, privatization, and small and medium enterprises. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
And in another meeting with the task force on the second UN Food Systems Summit, co-hosted by Ethiopia and Italy, Vice President Kashim Shettima revealed that Nigeria will encourage a transformative private sector-led approach to food systems reform. He said this will in turn position Nigeria as a continental leader in agricultural innovation. Again, let's join State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila for the report.
Outlining a framework that will reshape Nigeria's approach to food security by empowering private enterprise through government support structures is a major agenda for the federal government. Vice President Kashim Shettima hinted that government is ready to introduce single-digit credit facilities to finance agricultural ventures, similar to how countries like South Korea supported industrial conglomerates in their early development.
Our role as government is just to de-risk, catalyze, and convene. Not to dictate, not to get actively involved. In policy formulations and support structures, we will. But beyond that, the government has no business being in business. We should allow the public sector to drive the process. As we respond to today's food emergency, we must not lose sight of the deeper mission to entrench a market-driven food system that feeds our people, drives industrial growth, and positions Nigeria as a continental leader in food systems innovation and trade.
Vice President Shettima outlined 3 key objectives for Nigeria's delegation to the Ethiopia-Italy co-hosted summit, which include positioning Nigeria as a thought leader on African food systems reform, leveraging international partnerships aligned with domestic priorities, and advancing a private sector-led model for continental food transformation.
The President's declaration of emergency on food in July 2023 and on food security and all the achievements that we have achieved within the last 2 years, from intervention to input provision to mechanization programs. This is just a midterm review, and we believe that much more will happen before the end of this first tenure.
The second UN Food Systems Summit Stocktake, scheduled to take place in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, will bring together global leaders to assess progress on food systems transformation commitments made during the inaugural summit. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
We pause. You're watching NTA Network News. Now, the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has directed standing committees to step up oversight functions to ensure implementation of policies across sectors for the benefit of citizens. This was during today's plenary as the Red Chamber adjourns for its annual break. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
The lawmakers, after arrival for plenary, resolved into an executive session, at the end of which listed items for consideration were stepped down as the leadership announced adjournments for the annual Senate break.
That the Senate adjourn to the 23rd of September 2025.
Undertake major oversights. So during this period,
Members are expected to travel to Sokoto, to everywhere, to observe the routes that are going on. And by the time we resume, you are expected to bring your reports, committee by committee, for us to look into.
In the light of the directive, Senate Committee on Local Contents commenced the process by engaging leadership of the Nigerian Labour Congress to share ideas on enhancing implementation of President Tinubu's Nigeria First policy, which seeks empowerment of Nigerian workers through expansion of job opportunities across the oil and gas, science, engineering and other industrial sectors.
The goal is to promote Nigerian professionals, Nigerian goods, and Nigerian services in all public contracts. All procuring authorities shall give preference to Nigerian companies and firms in the award of contracts and ensure that where expertise is lacking, procuring entities will give preference to foreign companies and firms with a demonstrable and verifiable plan for indigenous capacity development.
Why do you bring janitor, people that clean toilet, as expatriate into this country? And this has been happening day in, day out. The Nigerian worker whose job is occupied by an expatriate is are receiving end. I'm here to confirm that after 4 years, these jobs, the issue of indigenization comes in. You even have those expatriates at the same level, grade level with Nigerians. They earn double. You have discrimination in salary administration.
NLC president expressed enthusiasm that Labour has for decades been agitating for elimination of discriminatory practices and hopes this partnership would yield positive outcome. Lami Ali, NTA News.
And talking health, in fulfillment of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration to promise to Nigerians to tackle the scourge of cancer, an ultra-modern cancer center has been inaugurated at the Federal Teaching Hospital, Katsina, with similar centers inaugurated in Enugu and Edo. The federal government says this is part of the administration's resolve to eliminate medical tourism in Nigeria. Let's go to Katsina, from where our correspondent Suleiman Kodoji tells us about the oncology center inaugurated in the state.
The decision of the present administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to put in place required modern facility for early detection and screening of cancer in the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. Inaugurating the center, the president, represented by the coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pat, alongside Ministers of Information and National Orientation, Muhammad Idris, and that of Finance, assured Nigerians of the provision of effective and efficient healthcare service delivery.
We're expanding diagnostic centers, almost 350,000 diagnostics to be able to be provided in this country so that we can detect cancers early and make them much more treatable.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a doer. We are only beginning to see those things that he has promised us. Yes, the takeoff was a bit rough, it was a bit challenging. There is nowhere in the world where reforms are easy to come by.
There's no better example of delivery than what is being provided today. World-class healthcare opportunity for Nigerians.
Katsina State Governor, represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Abdullahi Garba Faskare, applauded the President for the initiative and assured of his administration's willingness towards effective partnership. Other speakers, while appreciating the federal government, identified maintenance culture as paramount in achieving the desired objectives. The Chief Medical Director of the Federal Teaching Hospital, Katsina, Dr. Suleiman Bello Muhammad, later conducted the representatives of the President around the facility. Suleiman Kodogi, NTA News.
Time now to go to Benin, where a similar oncology center was inaugurated. Jude Abogo tells us more.
The state-of-the-art oncology center is equipped with cutting-edge facilities, including a true-beam linear acceleration system for external radiotherapy, CT simulator, and chemotherapy facilities. Professor Pate emphasized that the president is committed to healthcare projects that directly impact citizens.
The health sector is not only cancer centers. 501 equipment and projects, physical infrastructure in the last 2 years in 61 federal tertiary hospitals. some in this hospital and some in others. These are all listed, verifiable, and available. Thousands of primary healthcare centers are being revitalized, including their unit.
Government officials, including Finance Minister Wale Edun, Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris Malagi, and the Deputy Governor of Edo State are hopeful that the center will enhance access to cancer treatment in the South-South region.
The project we are commissioning today is not restricted to Edo State alone. It's for the 6 states of the South-South region. And we want to say thank you, Mr. President, and kudos to your administration.
For 2 to 3 years now, UVTH has been one of the beneficiaries of the National Cancer Health Fund. We have treated more than 359 patients have benefited from this program to the tune of about 430 million.
This world-class oncology center will serve as a reference center for treating breast, cervical, and prostate cancers, benefiting patients across the region. In Benin, Jude Abugu, NTA News.
And Grace Chukuma brings us details on the inauguration of the Oncology Center in Enugu.
In Nigeria, cancer has continued to be a major public concern, with rising incidence rates and significant mortality. It is against this backdrop that President Tinubu's administration, in line with its renewed hope agenda in the health sector, has built modern cancer treatment centers in Katsina, Edo, and Enugu states to curb the evolving health concern, while inaugurating the newly constructed Oncology Center in the University of Nigeria Teaching Hospital, Ituku Ozala. The Minister of Health expressed satisfaction with the cutting-edge technology in the center, describing it as a major breakthrough in the country's health sector. He said the cancer center has the capacity to address cancer concerns of Nigerians and even foreigners. The representative of Governor Peter Mba appreciated federal government for the gesture, adding that Enugu State government is open for more collaboration with the newly built ultra-modern cancer facilities. It is expected that cancer concerns in Enugu State and the Southeast at large will be addressed with timely diagnosis, treatment, and management of patients. In Enugu, Grace Chukuma, NTA News.
From health to agriculture, as Nigeria's livestock industry has continued to gain traction with life-saving initiatives as the nation launches pilot insurance product tagged index-based livestock insurance designed to provide climate-smart risk management support to livestock farmers. Africa Reinsurance Corporation, Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Projects and partners are championing the initiative that's set to revolutionize the sector for economic growth and development. Yusuf Jika reports.
Pastoralists and livestock farmers across Nigeria have over the years suffered accumulative losses owing to inadequate pasture, climate change and disease with no proper insurance methods. Now, the nation is making significant strides in insurance methods, setting a new standard for livestock insurance, building a more resilient and prosperous future for the industry with pilot states of Adamawa, Plateau, Bauchi and Sokoto. These, according to organizers, will redefine insurance product development in Nigeria by leveraging technology and big data to create solutions that directly address the needs of clients.
This product will not only just increase our knowledge and creating the insurance, resilience against climate shocks in this country, but then also will help support insurance industry basically to contribute to solving the challenges that are confronting the society today.
Are part of efforts targeted towards facilitating the emergence of a productive, commercial and resilient livestock sector.
We had to partner with Insurance Resilience Fund. Insurance Resilience Fund provided subsidy for the farmers.
Professor Festus Yai stood in for the Minister of Livestock Development, EDA Mukhtar Maha, said the event marks a new era in the industry's role to perform optimally, being one of the nation's contributors to the economy.
Risk can wipe out a family's entire productive asset overnight and ripple through feed suppliers, butchers, and export corridors.
The index-based livestock insurance fosters economic stability in the livestock industry, contributing to food production, job creation, and economic growth. In Abuja, Yusuf Jika, NTA News.
The National Coordinator of the Presidential Initiative on Unlocking the Healthcare Value Chain, PIVAC, Dr. Abdul Mukhtar, says government is committed to strengthening Nigeria's health system by supporting the local manufacturing of critical blood-based medical products. Dr. Mukhtar, who represented Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare during the presentation of a report on stakeholders' perspectives on possible local manufacturing of human serum albumin and immunoglobulin for medical treatment in Nigeria, emphasizes the importance of these life-saving biological products across various healthcare sectors.
So the essence of this meeting is to present formally the report for these products to the minister for him to endorse and bless it, while the private sector will then continue to work with the relevant agencies of the health ministry and the health sector to actualize that, working with international partners.
We have also looked into the area of blood products, which is going to be first of its kind in Africa, which are also in high demand in Nigeria.
We'll take a break. When we return, before the break ends, Benny Adams will be bringing us happenings in the world of business right after this break. Don't go away.
It's Network News at 9, and it's that time we talk business. I will start by telling you that the Accountant General of the Federation, Shamsuddin Ogunjimi, has assured of the Treasury's commitment to innovative financial management practices that will positively impact the nation's development through management of public funds. Shamsuddin, who was represented at a retreat for project accountants, finance officers and project internal auditors of donor-funded federal government projects in Nigeria, admonished participants to share innovative views on how to better work towards fraud prevention and detection in federal projects with a view to safeguarding public funds and ensuring prudent use of resources, emphasizing that the funds being deployed are not just public funds but borrowed funds that must be repaid in time.
See, accountability because they want to know where their funds are going to and if the needs, the funds are adequately channeled to where it's supposed to be channeled. So I believe at the end of this deliberation, we will strengthen those loopholes, which we already have, and then see how we can, if possible, evolve creative or innovative approaches to attending to those issues.
Their work is knowledge-based. It is professional work that you need the requisite knowledge to be able to perform optimally. And we have to continue to do this, to make sure that they do that, and so that they operate as officers that are on the global stage. It is about global best practices and nothing more.
The funds in focus are for more than 40 donor-funded projects ongoing in the country. And now taking a look at energy, Nigeria's crude Bonny Light tops at the price chart as oil prices rose on Thursday, buoyed by optimism over U.S. trade negotiations that would ease pressure on the global economy and a sharper than expected decline in U.S. crude inventories. This is as Brent crude closed at $69.18 a barrel. U.S. West Texas Intermediate settled at $66.08 per barrel, and Bonny Light at $74.38 a barrel. Let's take a look at more of the numbers. Now a look at stocks at the end of today's trading session on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Investors gained 406.49 billion naira after trading a total of 818.387 million shares in 22,955 deals, corresponding to a market value of 22.653 billion. Today's data shows 20% improvement in volume, 33% improvement in turnover, but 15% decline in deals. The current market capitalization is 84.3 trillion naira. On the aggregate, 129 listed equities participated in trading, ending with 46 gainers and 33 losers. This is it on business. Jumai, you can take it from here.
Thank you, Benny, for the latest update in the world of business. Now, moving on, the World Bank has been supporting Nigeria with funding for social-powered projects under the Nigeria Electrification Programme. 3 years after the implementation, the bank is assessing impact of the projects in some benefiting communities. Joshua Ojito reports.
Peti, in Kwali Area Council of the FCT, is one of the benefiting communities of the Nigeria Electrification Programme, with 200 electricity consumers upon installation of the solar mini-grid. And 3 years after, the impact is massive as end users increased to more than 400 consumers.
A month, if I recharge 5,000 naira now, it's going to take me a month and even more than a month, not to be compared to how much I'm going to get it for. So it's affordable.
Here we met a community that have not been with light for the first time in their history. They've been here for over 100 years as a settlement. Fast forward 3 years now, you can see the level of development. Overall, we can say this has been a very impactful project.
Managing Director and Chief Financial Officer of the World Bank is in the community to assess impact of the project, and she is impressed as calls for expansion resonate.
The framework for this is actually a collaboration with the private sector. Once we crystallize this mini-grid as the population expands, and of course power has to be paid for it to be sustainable, the developer is always able to attract more capital towards expanding this infrastructure in this community.
The Nigeria Electrification Programme has so far connected more than 7 million people in the country with solar hybrid mini-grids and solar home systems. And with the success story of the program, Nigeria signed another project, Distributed Access through Renewable Energy Scale-Up DES, to connect 17 million people. Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
The establishment of the North Central Development Commission by the current administration is viewed by elders of the region as a major foundation to build unity and progression in the region. To maximize this opportunity, elders from the 6 North Central states came together to establish the North Central Elders Council with a mandate of playing advisory and strategic supervisory role to the Commission and other agents of development. Joseph Osen reports on the inaugural meeting of the council held in Abuja.
Referred to as the heart of the nation due to its strategic location at the center, connecting every part of Nigeria, and rich resources, especially in agriculture and solid minerals. The North Central region, to many, is the life wire of Nigeria.
Now that the president has gracefully created for us North Central Development Commission, we have to come together to suggest what are the interests of the North Central zone.
Some elders in the region have envisaged this challenge and are spearheading a non-partisan religion and ethnic forum called North Central Elders Council to guide leaders to enhance opportunities, especially the newly established North Central Development Commission.
To advise the management of the North Central Development Commission on the ways to promote, defend, and strengthen the unity, interests of its people in the context of one indivisible Nigeria.
We appreciate this President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for putting the North Central Commission in place.
In Abuja, Joseph Otsen, NTA News.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu congratulates Major General Ibrahim Batamalgui Haruna, retired, on his 85th birthday. President Tinubu celebrates the retired general fondly called IBM on this special occasion and commends his service to the nation as a military officer and an elder statesman. The president quotes General Haruna's role in establishing the Nigeria Television Authority, NTA, and the News Agency of Nigeria, NAN, as Federal Commissioner of Information, during which he chaired Nigeria's participation in the World Festival of Arts and Culture, FESTAC, in Lagos in 19 1977. In a statement by Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, President Tinubu prays that God Almighty will grant him good health and more years to serve the nation. Now, the European Union says China's ties with Russia will henceforth be a determining factor in its relations with the Commission, just as India and UK sign a free trade deal in a multi-billion-pound export boost. Uche Oguchukwu has the details.
Under the agreement, UK cars and whiskey will be cheaper to export to India, while Indian textiles and jewelry cheaper to export to the UK. The deal took 3 years to reach and also commits to a new India-UK plan to tackle illegal migration. Prime Minister Keir said the UK-India agreement was the biggest and most economically significant trade deal Britain has made since Brexit.
I'm really pleased and privileged to welcome you here today on what I consider to be a historic day for both of our countries.
European Union Commission President Ursula von der Leyen met with Chinese Premier Li Qiang during a business summit in Beijing. During a press conference with European Council President Antonio Costa, von der Leyen warns that China's ties with Russia are now the determining factor in its relations with the European Union, as she wraps up a tense summit in Beijing that also saw China agree to speed up exports of rare earth minerals to the bloc.
And we agreed, and this is new, to have an upgraded export supply mechanism. In other words, if there are bottlenecks, this upgraded supply chain support mechanism can immediately check and solve the problem or the issue that is out there.
China's leadership has sought to draw the European Union closer as it positions itself as a more reliable partner than the United States and a bedrock of stability in the world. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
From Global, let's join Bade Adele for trending news in the world of sports. Bade.
Many thanks, Jomai. Now, let's begin with karate, as the attention of the world karate fraternity is on Abuja, Nigeria, as the 2025 UFAC Senior and Junior Cadet Championship enters Day 3. As part of NTA's coverage of the championship, I took on the president of the World Karate Federation, Antonio Espinos, in an exclusive interview where he emphasized the significance of the championships in promoting sportsmanship, unity and cultural exchange among the youth.
Well, I've been saying it many times since I came here and before, that to have the African Championships for the first time in Nigeria is a milestone for the world karate, not only for the African karate. At the end, it's the most populated country in Africa. Karate would have the opportunity to be known better in Nigeria. And the potential of Nigeria in karate is huge, and I hope that this championships will be a good opportunity.
Now, as anticipation grows for the 14th African Arm Wrestling Championship in Abuja, key stakeholders convened for a press conference to establish the framework for the tournament. The meeting aimed to clarify the rules and introduce new regulations, while also reassuring both athletes and fans of a top-tier sporting experience with no cheating.
And beyond, if any African athlete is found culpable, the country will be responsible for that. For the first time in history, Nigerian sport budgets have been the best for the past 4 decades in this country. We should appreciate Mr. President for having confidence in all the team he picked to run.
And sadly, Okogan, the iconic figure who played a pivotal role in transforming professional wrestling into a billion-dollar industry, has passed away at the age of 71. Organ, known for his bleach blonde hair and tan physique, became the face of professional wrestling in the 1980s, revolutionizing the sport from a disreputable spectacle into family-friendly entertainment worth billions. A significant moment in this transformation occurred during the WrestleMania the Third in 1987, when Organ famously body-slammed fellow wrestler Andre the Giant in front of a packed audience at the Pontiac Silverdome in Michigan. may so find rest. That does it on Sports Tonight. Let's return to Jumai.
Oh, Bade, as a fan of wrestling, he'll be surely missed. And the Nzeku family announces the passing and funeral events from Diopa Fidelis Nduka Nzeku. Service of song comes up on Thursday, July 31st at St. Augustine Catholic Church, Abuja at 5:30 in the evening. Body lying in state holds on Friday, August 1st at his residence, Umohule Quarters, Abuja, 9 to 11 in the morning. Thereafter, the funeral service followed at St. Augustine's Catholic Church, Abuja, at 12 noon. Only immediate family will attend, are billed to attend the interment at his home in Abuja. And now to our survey results. We asked, should public and civil servants alongside their families be barred from using private schools and hospitals? Well, 41% of respondents say yes, 31% say no, and an astounding 28% say only after public schools and hospitals are improved. On that note, that's Network News for tonight. Thanks for watching. I am Jumai Yusuf.